Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient. Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient.
Hello, and welcome back to Your Voice Matters, the podcast where we explore creativity, healing, storytelling, and what it means to live an authentic, empowered life. I'm Jen Chambers. I'm a writer, a creator, I'm a memoirist, and today I'm your guide as we step into the gentle and curious and transformative realm of personal growth. You don't have to climb a mountain to think about personal growth. It doesn't have to be that, cut and dried, really big deal. You don't have to perfect your chair pose or publish your own book. Growth can look like picking up an instrument for the first time. Growth can sound like learning to mix a lo-fi beat for your creative joy, the way that I've been doing recently. Or it can feel like standing in the grass and stretching your arms wide and showing up for yourself and being outside. Today's episode is for you if you're craving a reset, a way back to yourself, or even just a breath of fresh air in the middle of a busy season. Part 1. What is personal growth, really? Personal growth isn't self-improvement for the sake of perfection. It's more like expansion. It's saying yes to becoming more you. I used to have a sign by my desk that said, "Say yes." And it's saying yes to your voice getting stronger, saying yes to your wants and needs being clearer, and saying yes to your curiosity. It's the decision to keep learning and to keep trying. And all this, even if it's messy, especially when it's messy. There is an unknown quote that says, "Growth is not linear. It's a spiral staircase, and we often revisit lessons at a higher level." I think of that. I really like the spiral visual. And in my own life, that spiral is very literal. It includes things like when I pursued being a yoga teacher and getting a certification in several different types of yoga. I never thought I could do it, but I realized the flexibility that I gained was as much emotional as it was physical. It helped me bounce back from things. And I really felt like I grew in, I know it's a stereotype to say, but leaps and bounds. I also, like I alluded to, I picked up my ukulele recently and I started taking music lessons. And I can remember how good it feels, and this is kind of paradoxical, but to be bad at something new. Now, ukulele isn't new for me. It's an instrument that I already knew how to play a while ago, but I certainly didn't come back to it with all of my chops intact, let's just say. So it's really fun, actually, to be bad at something new, because you get to keep trying and try different ways to grow. And recently, like I said, I've been diving into electronic music. I'm trying to let my creativity take an unfamiliar shape. A friend of mine that actually works at our local library, his name's Gabe, he really inspired me with his electronic music. And I thought, okay, I have this book coming out. I'm going to try, and there's 13 chapters, so I'm going to try and make one song for each of the 13 chapters, and I'm going to release them for free to help publicize it and, just to kind of be the soundtrack of reading that book, or just as, soundtracks for the reels I'm going to post about each chapter. It's been really, really growth mindset oriented because it's pushing a lot of my boundaries. It's really hard to be bad at new things. It's really hard to try stuff and have it not work. And it's a completely new, I'm very familiar with music. I've done music for years and years, but in different ways. I kind of cheated my way in through music because I learned a lot by ear. So I can read music, but not super well. I can play music, but not super well. I'm really good at singing, but so I have to relearn it like a different language, sort of. So it's been extremely expansive for me to try that. And I love looking at it as an expansion rather than something that's hard. So today we're going to try and explore your spiral and how you might stretch and grow and gently pursue your own next chapter. Segment 2, Gentle Yoga for Creative Expansion. I'd love for you, wherever you are, if it's safe, of course, to ground into your body for just a minute. Because personal growth lives here too. You don't have to be a yogi. You don't have to be able to put your ankle behind your head. And you don't need to be doing it on a mat. I just want you to use your breath and a little bit of space. We're going to talk about 3 easy stretches you can do. These are great for breaks at your desk or breaks when you're writing. And there's something you can do right where you're at today, to your comfort level. Never go beyond it. Maybe feel into it, but don't go beyond. And we never want to stretch to the point of pain. So the first one is the seated side stretch. Wherever you're at, I want you to sit tall, straight back. Imagine your sit bones evenly dispersing your weight on your seat. Now I want you to inhale and reach your right arm up, and exhale as you lean to the left. You can feel that breath going right into your right ribs. Now I want you to put your arm back. Remember to sit tall. Inhale and reach your left arm up. And then exhale as you lean to the right. Breathe into those left ribs. Feel the stretch on your side. And replace your arm. You can repeat those if you'd like, but that's the first side stretch, seated side stretch. Now our second stretch is the neck and shoulder release. You might remember this from junior high, elementary PE. It's the neck and shoulder release. So I want you to inhale and lift your shoulders to your ears, like all the way up, scrunch up your neck as much as you can. Then exhale and let your shoulders drop. Feel the gravity on them as they go down. Now, slowly, I want you to roll your neck in half circles, side to side. So to do this, I want you to try and bring your right ear to your shoulder, moving your neck, not your shoulder. Slowly rotate to the front, your chin to your chest. Now slowly roll it to the left. You're trying to reach your ear to your shoulder, but you're going to let the natural weight of your head pull it down. You're not going to push your shoulder toward your ear. Back to the center. Then right ear to right shoulder. Again, feel free to repeat these if you'd like. And the third exercise takes a little bit more effort, but it's something that you can do standing or seated. I want you to sit very tall. And again, make sure your sit bones are evenly distributing your weight. Then I want you to bend your upper body over your thighs, chest as close to your knees as you can. Hang down your head, letting your neck be gently hanging there. I want you to bring your shoulders in and let your arms hang. If this is a difficult exercise for you to get into, You can widen your knees out, or you can bend them as needed. You don't have to, again, you don't have to go down all the way if that's not comfortable for you. The important thing is to kind of let go of the tension in your upper shoulders and the back of your neck. Just breathe and let go. Now, as you're staying in that position, I have a mantra for you today. And I want you to say, I am growing gently and in my own time. I am growing gently and in my own time. I am growing gently and in my own time. Inhale, raise your torso up, and as you feel available, come back to the here and now. Maybe shake out your arms, your hands, wiggle your toes. Those are great stretches. They give you the kind of pause sometimes that you need, and they can return you to your physical body, sometimes when you're stuck in something that you're writing. Segment 3, writing prompts for personal growth. Now, I want you to please get out your laptop or your notebook. I want to bring this idea of personal growth into our writing. You know, I love a good prompt. Today's prompts are all about uncovering what you need to feel alive and evolving. The first prompt, and I want you to just write these one on each page. Number 1, a time I surprised myself was. Number 2, on a separate page, the last thing I tried and failed at, and what I learned. The last thing I tried and failed at, and what I learned. On the third page, I want you to write, if I gave myself permission to start something new, I would. If I gave myself permission to start something new, I would. And on the fourth page, the fourth prompt is, what does expansion feel like in my body? What does expansion feel like in my day-to-day life? What does expansion feel like in my body? What does expansion feel like in my day-to-day life? I want you to take 5 minutes to free write on any of these topics. And I want you to be honest and unpolished, stream of consciousness. I think that you'll be very pleased at what comes out of these exercises, because it's almost impossible not to recognize your wins in the midst of writing about things that may or may not have been possible for you. Such as like the last thing I tried and failed at. Or if you give yourself permission to start something new. Or maybe you surprised yourself with something a little bit out of the ordinary that maybe you could make your new ordinary. And really feel into the prompt of number 4. What does expansion feel like in your body? It's an interesting question. And I'd love for you to feel free and respond to me on Instagram. Let me know how these went for you, or share it with me, and I'd love to read it on the show. But really be honest with yourself and unpolished. All right, now we're on resources for personal growth. I always like to give you the good books and the good info. And it's always a reminder that you don't have to do this alone. There are so many tools to support your journey, but here's just some of my favorites. The first is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. In this book, she has a 12-week program of creative recovery and self-discovery. I've spoken about this briefly here before, but spoiler alert, we're going to go through the book together on this podcast starting next week. So it'll be a 12-week series about the artist's way, and I hope that you join me for that. The second is the Insight Timer app. It has free meditations, free courses, and free talks for self-growth and mindfulness. This one is great for those quiet 5-minute windows when you need a little bit of something, you need some peace or quiet. And you can even look for me, Jennifer Chambers. I'm on Insight Timer if you want some more meditations from me. There is also some really great ones from my friend Rain. There's so many wonderful ones. I'll link to them in my social media so you can see them. The third is Coursera or Skillshare. I also like Udemy. Take a class. Try something weird. Try something wonderful, different. Poetry, productivity, drawing, coding. Whatever makes your brain spark. I learned all about Reiki this way, and it got me on the road to becoming a certified Reiki master. You just never know where you might go, to misquote Dr. Seuss. It's just so fun. That's what's so fun about college, right? Is that you get to try all these things that you never knew you wanted. So as an adult, you're allowed to do that too. And the fourth resource is the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. My mentor, Kathy, talked about that this morning. And if you want to grow through small, doable steps that stack up, this is your book, from what I understand. I have read so much about it, and I've had 4 friends recommend it to me in the last 2 weeks, but it is on my list that I'm going to search that book out this week for sure. All right, here's a teaser, our upcoming 12-week journey. Starting next week, we're going to begin that 12-week journey through The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Each episode will explore that week's theme. We're going to do morning pages. We'll talk about our artist states, creative resistance, and reclaiming the whole idea of play. I really changed my life the first time I did this 12-week journey. And you don't have to have the book yet, although I do recommend it. You can get it used, you can get it new. There's many editions. And you do need to have a journal, a little time, not much, but also an open heart. I would love for you to let this be your season of return, your season of returning to yourself, your season of returning to your creativity, your sense of returning to your sense of curiosity. Oh, that was a tongue twister. But also coming back to yourself. This kind of focused journaling and creative process can unlock so many things, buried needs or desires or talents that you might have forgotten about. I very much recommend it, and I hope you join me next week. Mini meditation, expansion breath. Let's close today with a simple breath work practice. I'd love for you to sit or lie down comfortably. If you are safe and feel that you can, please close your eyes, or you can focus softly in the distance if that's not achievable for you right now. I want you to inhale for the count of 4. I'll count for you. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll count again. Next time I want you to sigh it out on the exhale. So inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like the sighing. I couldn't sigh and count at the same time, but you get what I'm saying. Sighing it out is often very relaxing, and especially when you're somewhere where you're by yourself. I'd love for you to repeat that for 4 rounds. So if that's an inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. As you do this, imagine each breath opening space within yourself. Not because something is broken, but because by doing this, you create more room. There's going to be more room for your joy. You're going to make room for your power and room for your story. Opening up your heart space, it's like cracking open, like the light at the edge of the cloud. It peeks in at first, and then it almost blinds you with its warmth and possibility and light. Bring in the light. Gay Hendricks says, I expand in abundance, success, and creativity, and I inspire others to do the same. You can come back to the here and now, and anytime you need an expansion this week, you can do the 4-4-6 breath. Final word. Growth doesn't always feel glamorous. Sometimes it looks like you're crying in pigeon pose. Sometimes it sounds like a clunky chord where you just don't get your fingers on the right parts, right parts of the strings. I wish I didn't know that so well. Sometimes it means turning off your phone and turning inward and giving yourself the time and the space to grow. But every inch of expansion, every stretch of your mind and your body, it's a gift to yourself. It's a love letter to who you are and who you're becoming. You're not behind, you're not too late, and you're never too much. Your story matters. Your voice matters. And I'll meet you here next week with my morning pages in hand as we begin the Artist's Way together. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful week. Here's a snippet of my new music. It's still first draft, but I thought you guys would like it.
Sometimes we have to start over. Sometimes we have to fight back. Sometimes it's all too much. Lost inside the black. Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient. Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient. Sometimes we need to lift the voices of those who've overcome and expose the ones that made the choices